In 1976 and 1977, English art pop trio Easy Street put out two albums on Capricorn. And from the second of those, Under the Glass, the track What Does the World Know? Here how the classical guitar and piano are playing, kind of interweaving over that heartbeat that we're hearing, that started things out. Lord knows, not a sign of love shows, no one really cares. Lord knows, not a sign of love shows, no one really cares. No one really knows. Good harmonies between Peter Marsh and Ken Nicol. Yeah, brothers-in-law. Sorrows hide behind like shadows, healing as the day goes, still be here tomorrow. Some very skillful, like, classical guitar work there. Played by Ken Nicol with perhaps a bit of assistance by Peter Zorn, the band's fourth wheel. Thinking we can still see, evil grows when kindness doesn't show so clearly. Can't believe just the complexity of those little details just enthralls me. Ken Nicol, electric guitar lead, acoustic guitar vocals. Peter Marsh, acoustic guitar, electric guitar vocals. So I guess the two of them are. It sounds like more than one person. It's pretty thick and kind of layered. I don't see piano credits here. Drums, congas, percussion by Richard Burgess, who we haven't really yet heard on this track, although he's doing kind of that heartbeat sound on something. And yeah, I don't see that fifth wheel mentioned. The first album had an I just found more credits, I think. Jim Hall, bass guitar, synthesizer, Moog bass. That's piano, electric piano, organ, synthesizer, string, clavinet. Kevin Savigar, yeah, okay. Now we've got some detail. I know we're not going to hear any clavinet on this track, but there is another song on here, "Flying," that definitely has it. Tell me what the world knows. What does the world know? Tell me what the world knows. How much does the world know? How much does it all know? Tell me what the world knows. Tell me what does the world know? I wonder which one of the two is doing the high, the doing kind of the belting, because I'm suspecting Peter Marsh, because he's done more vocals outside this band. He went on to Blanket of Secrecy, after this, and then went on to Twist, and I think he's done more of that range. So I'm giving it. Ken Nicol resurfaced years later in the Albion band. Richard Burgess, of course, the drummer, did a lot, became very prominent in landscape, and is the producer of Spandau Ballet and such. Tell me what the world how much does the to pause and point out, notice the lush fullness of the sound. Like that sounds like, I believe it sounds like layered voices. The sound that kind of airy sound that's underneath the singing, that sounds a lot like I'm Not in Love by 10cc, that sound that they created with like all these voices, like dozens and dozens of voices layered. I'm wondering if I'm wondering here, is it just like a keyboard, a synthesizer, something that, or because it sounds more like voice, it sounds more like some layering, like some thick, like they created, whether it was voices or whether it was keyboard, they created something very thick and layered to go under and create this like kind of inflating sonic quality underneath the rich like harmonies of the chorus. And this is just, the arrangement to this is beautiful chords. It's like dun, A minor, dun 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 dun. It's they while the key centers are basic, it's the notes they find within them, and the accents they put in that really just make it so unique. That make it such like a filigree of beauty. That part right there, so many different like details and like vocal lines they come up with to put here and there. Like I knew that this band was very harmony rich. They were very schooled in like the spectrum harmonies of like Crosby, Stills and Nash, and they would do like these rich vocal arrangements of like like tonic thirds, fifths, that sort of thing. Maybe some overdubs. Like on the first album, there's quite some harmony rich tracks, but they're getting like more like experimental with this. It's like the influence of 10cc and Queen was starting to rub off on some of these art pop bands, like where they were using studio equipment to build layers of harmony and such. Um, this ba- I'm appreciating it more as I listen to it closer for this play, even though I've been listening to this track for it was 19 years ago that I bought the album. Another band around this time that was really expanding the vocabulary of vocal harmony around this time was the English band Mr. Big, who displayed similar um, like multi-layered, harmonized vocal prowess in a very unique way. Oftentimes making it the central instrument on tracks like Romeo and Feel Like Calling Home. Yeah, they made quite a few appearances on Top of the Pops. Yeah, yeah. This band, I guess, won a talent contest on TV in 1976 and got signed that summer. It was very strange to see an English band get distributed stateside on Capricorn. I don't know how that came together. This was recorded though, I guess in L.A. and sort of benefits from the studio scene down there. But I'm hearing like a real mixed kind of mid-Atlantic sound overall. I'm hearing a lot of Englishness and like the English acts that I mentioned, those influences, and then also the West Coast. So it's like the best of both worlds. I'm also hearing some of the layered richness of Supertramp. I can hear some of the sonic qualities of like the Crime of the Century album, or like the concurrent Lover Boy, or like Fool's Overture, like the beginning parts of Fool's Overture. Some of those layers, like gentle piano and layered. Yeah. Hear those little droplets of piano. That heartbeat. What Does the World Know by English art pop trio Easy Street. Kind of a proto supergroup in that the members of this very talented combo would all go on to very even bigger name recognition. Yeah, and but these two albums are perhaps the greatest things any of them ever did, and a very unique song arrangement and format. I mean, basically, kind of some, we had a lengthy, kind of quasi classical intro, classical guitar, piano intro over a heartbeat. We had some very plaintive verses, kind of like a plaintive double verse over that backdrop. And then we broke, and then we went into this really lush, kind of sonically enriched, harmony woven chorus that just went on, it seemed, for a couple of minutes. And then we faded back, and then we recapitulated the instrumentals from earlier with some kind of newer vocal nuances added. So basically, the song was structured kind of like intro, verse, big chorus, and then outro. Very unique format. As a matter of fact, I'm having a hard time thinking of any other song that just had like one big chorus in the middle. The chorus only happens once, but it's a really big one. It like goes on for a couple of minutes and then back to. Uh, yeah. Let's see. What does it say here? I couldn't find the lyrics printed anywhere, but it it's quite self-evident that it's like about oh, kind of like I would take it to be about like a search for truth, a search for meaning in life. Could be a takeaway. Although when you actually have lyrics printed out and you can read line by line, you'll notice like one like maybe line or one couplet that you didn't quite decipher in the times you've listened to it or you didn't quite take notes to, and then when you really think about it, it's like there's a certain kind of more specific takeaway that may have never occurred to you before, and it it like means something. It means like a whole lot more once you take notice to that. Let's see, what does it say here on jazzrocksoul.com? It says, traveling to the U.S. West Coast, the source of the trio's musical inspiration, Easy Street cut its second offering, 1977's Under the Glass. Album opener Flying unveils a newfound knack for Little Feat-style swamp funk, while the harmony-rich Is This Real picks up musically where their minor hit from the prior album left off. They're referring, of course, to I've Been Loving You, a Cashbox entry from 1976. The brisk, tongue-in-cheek Strange Change races along with much bravado, while the evolving piano harmony layers of ICU display a growing mastery of lengthier song form. On the album's centerpiece, What Does the World Know? An ivory and string laden soft ivory and string softly tap into minor king modalities, which gradually weave into the melodramatic backdrop of the chorus, a poignant tour de force of multi-tracked harmonies. Yeah, a poignant tour de force. That's a, I would say that pretty much summarizes it pretty succinctly. Yeah. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the two wonderful albums by Easy Street, see the directory of albums by English E artists, linked in the description below. Get the first Easy Street album from 1976 and the second one, Under the Glass. The first album, one of the best albums in 1976, certainly one of the best pop albums and one of the best English albums in 1976. I mean, just packed to the rim with rubies, and this album pretty good, not too far behind. This track being one of the prime highlights of the album. And from there, you can also go to like the L pages in the directory to in the English A to Z directories to see the landscape albums that drummer percussionist Richard Burgess was a part of, and then you could even go to the B page to see the Blanket of Secrecy album that Peter Marsh was a part of. Although the identities behind that album wouldn't be revealed till years after the fact. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about this track, its sonic characteristics, its meaning, or just the overall beauty and lushness of the track. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel trimaximalist, signing off.